It is mailbag time here on today's edition of Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman. I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. It's my favorite show I do every single week, where it's just me and you guys chopping it up about the Minnesota Vikings and discussing really what went wrong here in Minnesota. And the first question coming in from Vikings legend, actually, Jared Allen, saying, who is a dark horse QB target for the Minnesota Vikings? Hashtag Vikings. A dark horse QB target. So I think like the favorite right now is no doubt like a guy like Mac Jones. There's a lot of reports out there that the Vikings are going to be interested in him this upcoming offseason. But if I go dark horse QB target, give me a little Trevor Lawrence. And I'm not saying I would bring in Trevor Lawrence because obviously you have to somehow work out that contract. But if you want like an archetype of quarterback that will fit Kevin O'Connell's system, which the Vikings, they've made it clear they're not going to move off KOC. So if you want a quarterback that's going to fit your head coach's system, like Trevor Lawrence is the archetype of quarterback, like big body, 6'5", big presence, can attack the middle of the field. Now, is Trevor Lawrence that good of a quarterback? I don't really think so. But I do think if KOC got Trevor Lawrence, like we would probably win 10, 11 games and would fizzle out in the playoffs. Kind of how I feel about Mac Jones. But dark horse QB target for the Vikes, give me Trevor Lawrence. Joe saying, do you think the Vikings should get Fernando Mendoza? I do not. I do like Fernando Mendoza as a prospect. Even when he was at Cal, like people were talking about him potentially being a first-round pick last year. Now, would have been, who the hell knows how that would have played out. But he's getting the number 1 overall pick buzz this year because of the year he's having at Indiana. He's fantastic. He kind of reminds me of like a guy like Jared Goff, where if like everything's protected well, everything's on time, on script, like he could be a hell of a quarterback. But do I think the Vikings should get him? Probably not, because you're going to probably be drafting around that 7 to 12 range. So the move up from like 9 to 1, for example, you're going to have to attach multiple first-round picks, maybe even a player. Now, maybe if you tell me like, hey, the trade package is 2 firsts and Jordan Addison to get up to 1, and maybe the Tennessee Titans would rather have a proven receiver in Addison than a first-round pick, maybe that could end up being the case, but I just don't think it's too likely, and I just don't think that would be the right move for the organization. Blake Weary saying, I love how the day after I told you we should have draft Love, every Vikings YouTube started posting about the Vikings should go draft Jeremiah Love. Yeah, I remember that. Notre Dame running back. He's an absolute stud. And Blake, like, listen, I'm with you on the Vikings drafting Love. Like, if you told me, Patrick, KOC will change his offense, we'll be downhill, we'll be run first, give me Jeremiah Love, because you could still trust Brian Flores to figure out that defense, even though safety and corner is a big position in need. But if you said, hey, they're going to be a downhill team, they're going to run the piss out of the football, Jeremiah Love's that guy. Now, Dane Brugler, NFL draft analyst, did have the Vikings taking Love in his recent mock draft, so could be some interest there on the Vikings front. But again, it all comes down to KOC. Like, if KOC is going to run the same offense he's running right now, like, it's not like the Vikings don't have good running backs right now. Like, I still think Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones have had solid years when they do get the chance to run the football, but they don't really get the chance to run that much. And I think also with a guy like Love, and I'm not comparing him to Adrian Peterson, but kind of this way where it's like, I mean, if you guys remember AP back in the day, it would be like, all right, I'm getting 4 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards, 6 yards. Then it's like late in the third quarter. It's early fourth quarter. He'll break one off for like 60, 70 yards. And you look up, it's like, man, AP averaged, 8 yards per carry that game. That's kind of how Jeremiah Love is. Like, he's just going to keep on slow burning you, and then he'll break one at the end of the game, and it'll end up being a hell of a day for him. But yeah, I would love Jeremiah Love. But again, it comes down to KOC. Easton saying, make Brian Flores head coach, fire KOC. OC, bring in Brian Dable, and we get a vet QB for JJ to learn. I like that plan. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. I don't think there's a chance in the world that Kevin O'Connell is fired. I mean, Ben Gessling said he would be shocked if either of the two main members of the Vikings organization, Kwesi or KOC, are fired this cycle. So I don't think it's going to happen. But also, you gotta understand this. Like, another reason why I would be more open to the Vikings firing KOC is because I don't want Flores to go anywhere. Like, you think about it, there are going to be probably 5 head coach openings. Like, there's 2 right now. There's going to be a lot more. And Brian Flores is going to be at the top of a lot of these lists just because of how good he's been this season, how unique his defensive scheme is. So I would do it. But again, I just don't think it's got any chance of happening because the Wolves just aren't going to do it. They aren't going to pay Kevin O'Connell to go coach somewhere else It's just not in their DNA. They're also not going to pay Kwesi to just leave the organization. So again, nothing's going to change. It's just the same old Minnesota Vikings. But you guys let me know who will be QB1 for the Vikings next season. I've been saying it's going to be Mac Jones. I'm very much against that, but there's a lot of writings on the wall there. So I think it's going to be Mac Jones with JJ as the backup. But if you guys disagree, if you guys do think it's going to be JJ or anybody else, maybe if it's a Trevor Lawrence, a Kyler Murray, one of these guys, get creative for me and let me know your thoughts down below. All right, we'll get to more of you guys' questions here in just a second, but today's episode is brought to you guys by Prize Picks. Now, it is the holiday season, and it's the best time of year for sports, bowl games, basketball and football matchups, playoff pushes. It is all happening at once. And when you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right, and that is Prize Picks. So download the Prize Picks app today, plug in promo code CONS, and get hooked up with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, Prize Picks has a new feature, and it has early payout. So if your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. And Prize Picks, it's also very simple to play. All you got to do is pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. And if you guys get your picks right, you could cash in. So I have this link for you in the comments section and description of today's show. But download the Prize Picks app today. Plug in promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. I think we might just have to cut off the mailbag here. We got 9 coming in with a question, and it's JJ McCarthy in a Bulls jersey. If you guys don't know, I'm a Chicago Bulls fan, so this is just a double dose of just a stab in the heart right now. This question, this is hilarious. Should the Vikings trade a second round pick for Mac Jones? I don't think they can. I got to get my head out of the gutter here. That's just too much. I don't think they should, as we're doing this live. People are laughing. This is unbelievable. Can I just say something first? Something first off. I can't even talk right now. This threw me off. The J.J. McCarthy memes of him meme mugging in the locker room, you think about the Vikings and how bad this season has been. We have created the new term, soft benching. We have created the new meme of the year, which is J.J. McCarthy. I promise you, whoever loses the Super Bowl this year, they're going to get a Photoshop with J.J. McCarthy, and it's just unbelievable. Should they trade a second-round pick for Mac Jones? I don't think so because, hey, you're going to win 10 games. You're going to lose in the playoffs right away. But, yeah, that's all I got to say. Shout out to freaking 9 up top. Joe coming in saying, do you think 9, Jesus, will ever be our franchise quarterback? I have, PTSD when I hear 9 now. It's honestly worse than, the 6-7 jokes that I see kids having. Anytime I hear 9, here, Joe, being a good dude, sending a $4.99 super chat, I just see 9, and it's I feel like I'm a war veteran hearing gunshots in the background. I don't mean to disrespect, any veterans out there. Obviously, you guys, it's not even close to me hearing 9, but it is unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. But Joe, I appreciate you saying, do you think 9 will ever be our franchise QB? Who knows? It doesn't look like it right now, but he's also only played 6 games. If you want to take an optimistic view, the team around him hasn't been too good this season. KOC hasn't done him any favors whatsoever. I think he's still got a chance. I'm not going to completely sell my stock on McCarthy just yet, but we'll see. Reed Southern saying, if we could go back in time to the trade deadline, should we have traded for someone? I don't think we should have traded for someone. I think we should have traded people off this team. You should have tried to trade Hargrave. You should have tried to trade Jonathan Allen, TJ Hawkinson. Should have tried to get him off the team. Even a guy Josh Oliver just signed a pretty big extension. Just at least clear some cap, get some future draft capital. I think I would have had some interest there. But in terms of them trading for somebody, maybe a veteran quarterback, maybe a Jameis Winston wouldn't have been a bad call. But yeah, I don't think the Vikings were in any position to trade future draft capital at the deadline for, frankly, anybody with how bad the season has gone. We for sure do not need Kyler Murray, in my opinion. That would be terrible. Need someone with pocket presence. And also, Kyler Murray, he doesn't go under center. you're not going to win games with a QB not going under center. Like we have seen Caleb Williams this year. He's under center more than almost any other quarterback in the NFL besides actually Jared Goff, funny enough. But yeah, Kyler doesn't go under center. I don't think he would be a good fit with this offense, considering KOC wants to attack the middle of the field like a madman and just hit those 15-yard ends over and over again, and that's not really Kyler's strength. Like if the Vikings were like if you had an offense like the Seahawks offense back in the day where you're getting under center with Russell Wilson, you're handing off to Marshawn Lynch, and you're just dropping these moon balls over the top. Like Kyler does have that, and then you also let your quarterback play some backyard football. Would have some interest there with Kyler, but yeah, that's no interest there on Kyler as well. Joe saying, would you like the Vikings to draft Mansour Delane? This is the LSU corner. He's about 6'1". He started off his collegiate career at Virginia Tech, but this guy's a dog. He's got some swagger to him, which I always love at the cornerback position. Haven't looked into him too much just yet, but from the draft guys, I do appreciate and do trust. Like they're big fans of Mansour Delane, but again, maybe this is like a good trade back option for the Vikings. Like if they do get the 8th overall pick, they trade back to like 15, 16 for a team trying to trade up for a quarterback, like the Steelers, for example. Maybe that's a hypothetical we should discuss one day on the channel. Then I would 100% have Mansour Delane on my draft board. Love Golf 20606 saying, when does a trade demand happen? Talking about Justin Jefferson. It could happen this offseason. There's no doubt about it. Like, I would not be shocked if Jefferson goes to the front office and says, hey, guys, like, I wrote it out with you. I really tried to trust this process here, and it just hasn't gone well. Like, I could see Jefferson for sure demanding a trade. And, I don't think it would also be something where, like I don't think we'll ever get a report from, like, Adam Schefter being like, oh, my God, the Vikings somehow or Jefferson requested a trade from the Vikings. Like, I don't think that report would ever come out. I think they would do it behind closed doors, and then we'll just get like that one bombshell notification. It's like, oh, Jefferson went to the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, one of these teams in the AFC, but I don't know if we'll ever get a true trade demand from Jefferson, and I could be very wrong on that, but I just don't really think that is how he operates and how his camp operates. Like, I feel like they're very big on Jefferson's image, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just kind of the reality of the situation with how he's kind of handled himself so far in the NFL. We do got Shimshack Collectibles. What's going on, man? Sending a $20 super chat. Appreciate you. Saying, honestly, Vikings lost this season. Just let 9 go out there and finish up the season and just play. JJ did say in his press conference today that KOC and McCown told him to honestly stop caring about his mechanics and just go out there and play football, which could pay some good dividends here over the last couple of weeks. But he also says number 18 will be staying. Just stir up the pot. Let's get Mac Jones and Hawk needs to go. Steve's your rock, brother. Appreciate you as always, Shimshack. Always supporting the show. So I do just want to say thank you there. But just to stir up the pot, you want to go get Mac Jones. Listen, I think it's going to happen, Shimshack. Like, I think they're going to go out there. They're going to try to stay mediocre. They're going to try to go get that playoff appearance. They're not going to try to go get a playoff win if you got Mac Jones. But even if you got, like, that playoff win, you're not winning a Super Bowl with Mac Jones and Kevin O'Connell. Like, that quarterback head coach combination is not going to do it. And also, who says Mac Jones would be good in this offense? Like, really? Like, Mac Jones, he's with Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan loves to run the football. Like, it's completely different than what KOC likes to accomplish. So, yeah, I'm against Mac Jones, but I'm also with you. Hawk needs to go, and hopefully number 18 does end up staying. But if you guys made it to the end of today's show, appreciate all of you guys for tuning in to today's mailbag. Just hit me with those skulls, and we'll get on out of here. We'll be live for the game against the Commanders this Sunday. But as always, just go Vikings.